So let's go to Dewees. So I'm going to show you a series of pictures starting in 2004 from Google Earth. And I highly encourage you to go play with Google Earth yourself. It's sort of an incredible resource. And in all of these pictures, I'm going to show you the main channel of Capers Inlet. And this is the reference of where the breach is, the recent breach, just so you know where it is. And then I'm also going to show you what we call the wet-dry line. When we're using Google Earth, we don't know when the photo was taken, if it was low tide or high tide. Most of them are taken during low tide. But we have to be able to, if we're going to measure a shoreline, we have to be consistent. So we use the wet-dry line. So you can see how bright white it is on that side and not as bright. And that is telling us that's the likely last high tide line. So that's the best we can do, but it's pretty effective around here to be able to use that. So that's sort of the orientation, so I'll be showing you the wet-dry line in different colors as well. So you all are familiar with Lake Timmy-Cow and that channel that used to cut through, and I'll show you those pictures too, the older ones, but in the area that was fortified. All right, so 2005. Here's my new shoreline. The main channel was pretty much the same. 2007, the dashed line is now the orientation. So we've had a reorientation of the main channel. And if we look one more, now you've seen that there's a shoal attachment that went on between 2007 and 2010. We were monitoring this on the beach. We just don't have the Google Earth images of it. But we could see it offshore, and I also have lots of aerial photographs. I just wanted to use Google Earth in this presentation. But you can see how much sand is there, and look at how much erosion occurred here. All right, 2007. So we have a redirection here, and you see there's still plenty of sand. And then we have the shoal moving on shore. So I guess where we're leaving off is the erosion on each side. It's big building inward. 2013, it had redirected again. Another shoal had attached, so you've had a lot of accretion here. But I really think it just hasn't had enough time to redistribute because another shoal comes on board, and that's still causing that refraction. And then tremendous amount of sand. I remember this survey was in February. And was that the one you came out with us? It was so cold, and we just kept waiting and waiting, and then there was so much sand we went about a quarter of a mile offshore with our poles. But it was pretty remarkable how much sand was moving on shore. But notice where the main channel is, and so all that sand was able to weld onto your shoreline eventually. And most of it moved north of where the previous shoal was. So you've had several buildups through time. And this sand has now distributed down-drift. So what you, I'm sorry, this is 2015, yeah. So, and then another, that shoal continued, that's 2016, and 2017.
Yeah, it's still an awesome lake.
Yeah, in 2018. So we have two images from 2018. This is from March. And then we have one from September. And in that time, there's a little bit of redirection. I don't know if it's permanent or if it's just a function of, what tide this was taken at to make it look like it. But basically, there wasn't a lot of shoreline change, but it looked like the ebb tidal delta was redirecting. So now we're going to zoom in. I just wanted to emphasize how much the ebb tidal delta is fluctuating all the time. It is very dynamic. And so it's really great that you have this north end of the island that is natural, and because it's so changeable. So in 1989, Hugo, of course, is the culprit for having broken through Timmy-Cow, and this picture was taken after the reconstruction of the dike across. And you can see the purple line outlining the spit, so this is like a small spit of what I mentioned earlier from the longshore transport. So there must have been a shoal updrift, and that was bringing sand down. I wasn't studying at all this time period, so I don't know very much about it, and we don't have a lot of images. But I do want to point out this area up here, because at this point it was pretty untouched, And maybe some of you know, I've never noticed it, but by 94, there was a channel there, and it really looks man-made. Is that where maybe some of the fill borrowed sand was?
There is definitely a channel.
Yeah.
Because I
But
couldn't
this
go-
part of it
I
looks
couldn't
very
go to the north
man-made, it's
end.
very straight. But I don't know, I've never noticed that before.
It filled in though.
It wasn't man-made, really.
It took about a year for it to fill in.
It was a breach.
It was another breach.
It was a
Okay,
breach.
so it was between 89 and 94.